Hey, look, Menulog.
30 seconds left in this Elder buff. Can they go for it again? The hook goes out, does not connect.
Greedy.
In they jump on towards Fury, pops the Undying Rage. Oh, to the Nexus! They're going to win the game! Mammoth going to cause the biggest upset! How on earth? How on earth?
I don't believe it. Rocco's out of his chair. I can't believe Mammoth just won that. Defies all expectations, but listen, the thing is, they were never losing.
Oof. Look at that, huh? Rocco and Mammoth just menu pogging off straight on into this one. Oh, production, Menulog, all doing Pentanet dirty with that one. A little bit of a memory they might not want to remember, but of course the Mammoth fans, I can hear them, what elephants do?
Stomping? What do you mean?
Stomping,
As in the
like,
noise they make?
What's the noise?
Bellowing?
Tooting?
What they do?
Bellowing? From here.
Why can't it?
Sound.
Trumpeting?
It's basically saying re, isn't it?
I don't know. It's horning from here.
Noise does and
Rumbling and
elephants make.
trumpeting.
Rumbling and
imagine.
trumpeting. There we go. All right, Skimmy's Googled it for us. We got the correct
trumpet.
terminology.
Yeah, it's a trumpet. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't come prepared for that one, I'm sorry. Anyway, Mammoth fans making noise. It's the essential thing I was trying to say. Now, speaking of Mammoth and Pentanet going head-to-head, bit of a rematch to maybe get some revenge for what we just saw in the Menupog moment. But let's talk Pentanet first because they have a vengeance coming into this game, Skimmy.
They certainly do. What a team, right? They're going to be no doubt looking at this one and saying we have to win this match. You know, for them, unacceptable. I think even some of their interviews going into it, they even said, right, like, if we don't get this, then something's gone terribly wrong. Even Praetor going as fast, saying I can play top lane and would win, right? So, I think for them it's going to be one of great importance, no doubt. Obviously another super week chance for them to showcase what they can do, no doubt hoping for a perfect 3-0 as well. But we did see, even though they did fall down in that game, just how close they were able to keep it in terms of getting gold leads, in terms of getting fed, in terms of navigating that mid to late game like a top caliber team can do. So we're not going to boil it down all to draft, obviously, but if they can find a draft that does work in their favor, then it should be a very different story this time around.
I also saw that Rogue, I think he's been trying to work on his green thumb, so I wonder if that's taken away his skill from the Rift, but I also saw that he didn't know how to keep plants alive, so maybe, hopefully that's not a sign for Praetor that he's going to be dying today as well, so Rogue could save him, we'll see how he goes. Now, let's talk Mammoth, because they played insane last time both these teams went head-to-head. It was probably their best performance we've seen, and Tron as well played a huge part in that, managing to get off some beautiful flanks and just causing so much mayhem, Russ.
Yeah, big team fights came out of Tron in that game. Also, Fury getting a couple of solo bolos there in mid lane. It was putting in some serious work and mind-controlled the heck out of Yuri. There's really no other way to say it, but he did. He mind-controlled him into like 3 solo deaths. It's not the last time that we'll see the Tryndamere versus Corki lane assignments go the favor of the Tryndamere.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, we think back to what happened in this game. It was not clean from the side of PGG, almost from the very first moments, right? And giving Mammoth that in, they are still a team to be respected. All teams in the LCO are teams to be respected. And this is what can happen if you don't respect enough. They got put in the bin, PGG, and full credit to Mammoth. The question is, can they do it again, Mac?
Yeah. I think the answer, I don't know, is the answer. I want it to happen again because I want to see Mammoth succeed, but I know that Pentanet bounced back so hard after this L, and you know they've been putting in the work to try to make things that little bit more clean. Of course, they've got that communication issue that they're trying to work through, going for the bilingual approach, of course, when different people are doing different things. And then sometimes as well, you got Bolgan who just decides he really wants to be the center of attention, stealing farms, stealing kills, stealing bloody hearts as well, because the man is so damn funny over on the socials. Now, of course, let's have a quick chat about how this one's going to go head-to-head, because, look, Mammoth, I love them. I love all of them, especially in those interviews. They're very relatable, and Pentanet, look, maybe less relatable, but they're savage, and you really, really love to hear what a lot of them do. Winter on the player cams, he's popping off, but also, it's not just our opinions that matter. It's the players' opinions that matter, and we have a video of both of the teams chatting towards one another. Let's see what they had to say.
A lot of individual players really stood up in our last match versus them, and that was basically the reason we lost. We played bad, we drafted bad, and then they had the means to step up and take the win.
Last time you guys got pretty embarrassed and everybody thought you were probably the worst team in the league after losing to us.
The loss really doesn't matter because at the end of the day, they're not going to be playoff contenders. We probably won't see them again outside of the regular season. I don't think anyone was actually upset at all.
I definitely think if they keep underestimating us, we're going to pull out a few wins out of nowhere, to be quite honest. I think there is a need for a little bit more respect.
Last week, we broke a record for fastest game in LCO, and guys, like, I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to break that again. It's just gonna be so free.
I'd say this matchup doesn't really mean anything. I think we'll just beat Pentanet. I'm pretty sure I could play top lane and still beat Pentanet.
If Voice wants to meet me top lane, he'll get gapped twice as hard because it's a 1v1, so good luck.
He said
Beat me in the top lane. He said the line, Skimmy. He said the line. What are your thoughts on that one?
Look, I'm really feeling like if there's any lane we're going to focus on, I think it would be bot lane. I feel like those two AD carries are probably the most volatile in the league right now. They actually have the top two when it comes to most deaths as AD carries. So I would say that if you're looking at players that are just absolutely going to send it, you're looking to those. So Predator and Voice, they've got the lines, they've got the promos, and they've got the skills to try and find that winning edge.
So you think it's down in the bot lane? Well, unfortunately for you, I think it's going to be the mid lane. So let's have a quick look at the head-to-head between both these players. We did see Yuri get absolutely dominated by Reef Fury last time they went mono-a-mono. But Rusty, tell me about this one, because both these players have their good days, have their bad days. What are we going to see today?
Yeah, so what we've seen in terms of progression from Yuri has been, it was a shaky start. We thought and we were worried that maybe there was a limited champion pool, perhaps some small issues there for Yuri to iron out before we saw what he'd really look like at his peak. But he has absolutely started to come into his own lately, playing with his team, right? Even in matchups where he gets countered now, he's been roaming, working with Balkan, and it feels like we've seen a completely different Yuri from the first time they played and lost to Mammoth to today. So if the trajectory continues, if the improvements that we saw from him last week continue today, then this is definitely a different battle, and it's a lot harder to mind control the man that is on an absolute tear.
Let's see if he can do it again, because the mid lane is going to have a higher priority put on it. And look, those junglers as well are definitely going to have a little old tussle. But look, I'm ready to hear from Kitty, because she's probably got a pretty strong opinion about this matchup too.
Hey guys, you know, we saw Yuri playing the roaming Yasuo in that game against, I believe it was Kenga, but someone else who also really likes roaming is Rogue, so I've grabbed him for the interview. Hello Rogue,
Hello.
Love the new apartment. How have you been settling in?
Good. It's been a lot better, and I think scrims have been a lot better from the boys too. I think everyone's a bit happier to have some more space and everything like that. So it's good.
Great to hear, but talking about Pentanet, I was watching the newest episode of the Pentacom series, where the very last line of that episode, in that rematch against Peace, Predator said something along the lines of, "Our team comp is really bad." Why did draft turn out like that, and what has the team picked up from that loss?
I mean, draft's a difficult thing with the Koreans, that's for sure, because half the draft's in English, half's in Korean, and there's a bit of a gap. We have Chippies who's come in the last few weeks, who's an absolute draft genius. Winter tried to say thanks to him in one of his interviews and got cut off the other day. So as soon as Chippies is on stage with the boys, it's a lot better, but till then, I've just got second monitor draft notes. If you pay me $100, I'll show you right now. Probably won't happen, but I have to kind of run the draft. But once it gets to a certain point with solo lane picks, it's a bit hard because the Koreans just start talking, and then we have really a mid with no cryo. We're playing Yumi, and then we have to give away our summoner spells to make the game fair. Like, you know how it is. You know how it would be.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but I don't have $100 to steal those draft notes.
Oh, there's
but
Lucky.
Talking about last week, Oh, hello Predator, running to your PC, you know, getting ready for the game. But talking about last week, we saw you respond with the Yumi to the Tahm Kench, which was blinded by Peace. With more people unbenching the Kench on the Rift, how does that affect bot lane and the meta champions?
I mean, I think Tahm sucks, but for that reason, like you just pick Yumi and then you've got a free Yumi. That's the third time Mark's washed his hands in like 5 minutes. That guy's gonna be real clean on the Rift today, I tell you what. But
Gotta stay clean
I don't really
for
like
those
the Kench.
mechanics.
I think I think if you give the enchanters a free ride, it's kind of over. That's what he does. Bob's your uncle. Game's done.
Statistically, we've already seen 2 Yumis into that Tahm Kench and they both lost. So I'm surprised to see what enchanters do well into the Tahm Kench because it's definitely not Yumi. But thankfully, we do have Praetor washing his hands. Hands gap? Okay, well hopefully Praetor has some mechanics hand gaps for this match.
The cat's too hard for me to pilot.
That's okay. I think Praetor can
you gotta be like, this, you gotta be like W, you gotta be like that.
You know? Bit of getting into the character. Hopefully we do see some more Yumi coming out of you, Rogue. Well, thanks for the interview and best of luck in your rematch against Mammoth.
Thanks.
Man's got those niche league jokes coming out in the interview. You love to see it.
What
but
a
also, I want to know, Praetor, were they boxer shorts or were they footy shorts? Was he ready to get onto the rift or was he ready for bed? That's the real
He's
question
from a
here.
country town in New South Wales back. There's a high probability that there's some footy shorts in that man's outfit.
I love to hear that because I do love a good pair of footy shorts, but I also love some good predictions. So let's have a look at where we think this one is going to be going. Of course, it's nothing new. If you've watched any other prediction, we're going to be getting the same one maybe all today, unless something crazy is pulled out by some other individuals. But I guess we'll see once we get there. For now, I'm going to be going for that 2-time repeat for Mammoth. As the underdogs, of course, I still think Pentanet. After what we've seen from the last couple of weeks, I don't know if Mammoth are going to be able to do it twice, but I'm hoping that, you know, just the spirit of knowing they've already done it one time would definitely help out today, Skinny.
I think it could, yeah. I mean, I already talked about bot lane, right? I feel like Voice, if given a chance to unleash himself, can certainly put in a hard day's work and really look to try and turn the tide of war in the bot lane. But I think more so than anything, it's Tron the Pom. I think if Tron gets a champion where he can look to try and diffuse the impact that Winter emits, then he certainly just walks into a team fight and contributes a whole bunch. You're looking at sort of like Yuri and Refury be maybe that like highlight in the mid lane, but I think the side lanes are really where Mammoth going to have to try and win this.
Well, Skimmy, fortunately for you, the highlight of my day is listening to you two do Champ Select, and I get to listen to it for a 3rd time tonight because Champ Select's ready.
Well, let's do it. Let's jump into this one and see how it looks in a repeat, a rematch, a revenge, possibly, really, for PGG, as Mammoth are going to kick-start the draft.
Yeah, we'll see where this draft does play towards, right? Because we've already got Rogue's opinion that enchanters are good into the Tahm Kench. If that's considered, that means that Senna's not going to be seen in the bans primarily, right? In saying that, I think this is a bigger conversation that doesn't need to be had on air about the state of Tahm Kench, but I'll be getting into that one later. I think he's just broken, personally. But either way, we've got our first pick from Mammoth. If that's not getting to the heads of PGG, I don't know what is, Skimmy.
Oh, for sure,
that's
right?
the Tryndamere.
That is the champion, which absolutely destroyed Yuri in the mid lane. Although bear in mind, the last couple of games that we have seen Mammoth play, it has been piloted by Tron the Pom instead. So definitely still a flex pick, but maybe something living in the minds of Pentanet rent-free. Response will be, though, they're going to lock in this Rise as well as the Aphelios, and we were praising just how much strength Yuri brought to the table when this Rise was in his hands.
Yeah, and so Yuri, PGG and Peace have proven that I think they're two of the teams that will be going for the Rise type of compositions when it's available. I'm a big fan of this play style. It's something that we've seen replicated through a lot of regions. In fact, right now, Rise is, I think, the 2nd highest presence on patch 12.3 globally in every top 5 region. So that's an 89% presence rate, Skimmy. So Rise is a big deal. It has been weird to me that the first game it wasn't even considered, but it was banned in the second at the very least. And along came Rocco with his unique champion pool.
Yeah, he's going to go with the Zillion. This time it's going to be paired with the Sivir. So we are just talking straight flat mobility. It is just go, go, go. We're running at you. They've played the Zillion twice. It's always been paired with the Aphelios though. So the Sivir is certainly going to be an interesting champion.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? And this is maybe just my support brain having a take on this, but I think Zillion is bad karma. And Sivir Karma is unbeatable 2v2. I think the difference is Zillion has an R button that Karma doesn't have, right? So like fundamentally that's maybe the one point of difference. But I don't think you necessarily need to be Zillion with the Sivir, because Zillion provides enough movement speed by himself, where like a Karma Sivir is an auxiliary bottom lane that works brilliantly together in lane and is utility for outside of lane when combo. I'm curious to see how this one plays out. It still does feel the exact same concept, right? Fundamentally, it's just going to be pushing in lane, controlling laning phase, and then accelerating the rest of your team with your crazy amounts of movement speed and now a revive.
Yeah.
So junglers like Hecarim, you know, start to really rise in priority, and as you would note, both movement speed based junglers that I can think of off the top of my head are immediately taken away. Jarvan is not like the optimal type of move speed necessary jungler, nor is a Lee Sin really. I guess Viego could be an angle, or Kindred.
Oh, so we're really jumping into the solo queue mentality. Who knows what Mayfan's going to try and bust out so far. I mean, we have seen from him a lot of those standard champions, right? You think of the likes of Lana, Viego, Gwen, so to speak. A lot of those have been removed, though.
Yeah,
I think my
Gwen.
biggest question right now is also what the Sivir will be in terms of a build, right? Is it going to be the on-hit? Are we going Gale Force? Are we going more like Dark Harvest, like Lethality Poke from afar? Lots of questions, I suppose. That's only going to be cemented once we see like what the full composition looks like. But it's an interesting discussion, right? I think only globally this split, it's only been played like 10 times, severely underutilized.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a really high threat to it. I am very curious to see what it gets played with, like you highlight there, just to see how it works. I think it was COG most recently played that Sivir. I was watching an LCS game yesterday. I think they were actually playing that in their win against Cloud9. Graves going to be the lock-in here as a fourth pick for PGG. Blind pickable top lane champion. Not going to be flexed to mid given that the Rise exists. So it is going to be a Camille versus Graves now, I believe, confirmed as the matchup, which means that is a Tryndamere into a Rise skimmy. And that Tryndamere will have, honestly, a pretty tough time. There's a lot of health trading that goes on in this 1v1 matchup. There's a lot of either health as a resource versus mana as a resource is effectively how that plays out. Really waiting to see what this jungle is going to be. Yeah, I feel like that was the best choice of what was left.
Yeah, back for sort of a comfort really for Mayfan. If you're looking at seeing, you know, what is up and available still there for him. We talk about comfort also, and this is definitely one of the champions that springs to mind when you think of Rogue. We saw the Rail getting hobbled earlier, but this is another champion that only he himself. I mean, we've only seen Corporal also play this early on. Actually, he's been the one that's played both the Alistair and the Zillion, I suppose, fun fact. But a classic pick here for Rogue. I mean, he played so much last year and going to round out their comp quite nicely.
Yeah, and the enemy team has a fair amount of level 1 pressure, right? If you look at where Alistar is considered weak. But again, the Zillion doesn't do the same thing a Karma does. A single time bomb is not going to provide the threat that a Karma can. And getting to level 2, your kill threat gets pretty high if you are the Alistar with the Affiliates. So I don't mind that 2v2. I don't think it's strictly winning, but the kill threat is pretty strong down there now, especially with the right weapon cycles. And then you've got a Xin Zhao and a Rise who want to be constantly roaming towards the side lanes. And I would say with the Alistar secured, it's most likely going to be bottom lane where they put most of their attention. And Graves can do as he pleases towards that top lane. You know, build a Hull Breaker. It's got health in it as well as AD. Camille does true damage, but you've got 400 health from one item. I have a pretty good time up there, where for the side of Mammoth, I think you actually want to be playing towards your Sivir and Zillion early, but making sure your Tryndamere and Viego are the ones that get the money. That is the most important part, I think, in this for me. With a triple physical damage top side into what is going to be a very tanky Graves as a result, you need money in the Trynd or the Viego to play bot lane pressure.
Well, it's going to be very difficult for them to look to try and contest and start up objectives without any real agency on the map to do so, right? You already highlight how volatile that mid lane could be, just given the fact that Rise can step up, lock you in a binding, and you really can't do too much until level 6 is there before you look to try and flex and showcase, hey, you have no mana, or hey, I have the ability just to dive underneath this turret, and I'm just invulnerable for a few seconds too long. Big thing for me, though, has to be the fact that Chrono Shift lasts 5 seconds. That's massive. So, I mean, it's a free out, quite honestly, for Mammoth if they ever do decide to try and take some of these risky trades.
The thing is, and it does stick out to me like a sore thumb here, right, is that there is only one magic damage source for the side of Mammoth, that is support, and Rise in mid can stack armor. He can be a tank mage, so it is pretty tough to play into PGG if they get ahead.
Certainly could be, and we're going to find out what it actually looks like as we load into the Rift. It's week number 5 here, it's a Soup Week in the LCO, and it's our 3rd game of the night. Let's get some thoughts and feelings from the coaching staff. Let's welcome back the side of PGG and bring on Udisoft.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. How are we doing?
Very well, mate. Very well. It looks like you're a little bit quiet at this stage, perhaps, hiding away in the background there. But I have to ask the obvious question, right? It's a hotly anticipated rematch. So how's the team really feeling as we pass that halfway point of the split?
Into Mammoth. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Surely we won't lose to them 2 times. Surely not. Everyone, put your channel points in. Put your channel points in for Pentanet right now. But how are we feeling going into it? We're fine. Like, honestly, like, we lost. We had a shaky draft. We had a shaky performance, and we've been up and up, so we're pretty confident coming in today.
Yeah, no big worries at this stage. I have to ask also, just looking at some of the drafting shenanigans that went on, a first pick on the Trendemir, almost looking to try and highlight how that last matchup went. He's actually played it in mid lane again now, so was there ever a sort of a cause for concern that they might just look to try and run it back?
We're not too worried. He's been practicing a lot of other things in solo queue recently, so if he's been getting a lot of scrims on Trendemir, good for him, but in solo queue, yeah, he's been practicing a lot of things, so he might be a bit rusty.
Well, thankfully enough, we do have Rusty on the desk here casting
That's
with me,
good
so I'm going
to
to throw it back to him. So, best of luck for you and the boys, and yeah, good luck this week.
All right, goodbye, fellas. I'll see you next time.
Had to throw in a dad joke there.
Oh, I mean, he said it. He said it. In this house, we say out of practice. That's the rules. Can't help but dad joke it sometimes. Anyway, we are going to focus on the game at hand. Winter is going to pretend he's Topoon for a hot second there, but chooses not to go full Topoon. I think a real Chad top laner there actually flashes forwards, auto attacks the Gromp. Which is not going to happen. Either way, he's got the vision of the Gromp of the blue buff being done. Nice little move there from Winter while he had a wave. Volkan on the other side here is pathing from blue towards red top side. He's just going to do every single camp as he clears his way up. I think the challenge comes in with what he wants to do after, right? You've got Scuttles spawning. I don't think Scuttles are a big deal to fight over. Got plenty of options for lanes with setup, but his waves aren't built except for top. Top is the one place that I think Winterer could have played to let it push towards him because it was bouncing. But you don't need to, right? That's not playing the matchup properly. So mid and top just going to be pushing. Bottom is the volatile lane, as you're seeing now.
Yeah, absolutely. Rogue goes in, hits the combo, and Predator then cops a big exhaust to the face. As a result, Voice in so much trouble, burns the heal nice and early, turns around, and says, we've got a jungler who's going to just drive by. Not interested in it anymore.
So bot already half health. Heal summoner gone, exhaust summoner gone as well. Bot is in a very bad position, just from the 2v2. No junglers involved at all. Mid lane, you just saw the first real interaction of it, but if a Trendemir tries to be aggressive, Ryze can just use a 3-spell combo or 2 spells and an auto, and he just runs away with Phase Rush. The W doesn't actually get anything done. I feel like the first point of genuine kill threat is either a mistake from Yuri, where he's pushing with no mana, or Gale Force. But I guess Refury does also have the Ghost to overcome a little bit of that. Either way, I don't expect kills to be seen 1v1 mid. Top lane, I think, is just about push pressure. It still comes down to that 2v2 bottom and what junglers get.
And just look at that wave bot lane right now. It's in such a bad spot for Mammoth, right? They had no mana, they had no summoners, as you highlighted, ready to go back and sort of push that one out further. They need a bit of assistance, but PTG is going to lock it in place, match the shot, come back, and really give Volkan an invitation to stack up a wave and punish.
Yuri looking for a reset here, quite obviously, with 35 odd CS to his name. We're going to clear some vision down here, Skimmy, because the gank is on. Rocco's about to face check Volkan.
No, Rocco. He's just literally walked past and then hit the flash at the very last moment. Just feels unnecessary.
I think Rocco was... I'm really confused with what Mammoth's vision is. They will spot this, but I don't know how they actually stop it from happening. Volkan.
Yeah, he just hits the flash. You're not level 6. What are you doing? First blood as easy as you like for PGG, and that huge wave that we were just highlighting, it will crash. It's going to put in so much work.
Yeah, I mean, you lose a 2v2 trade bottom. This is a repercussion from it. The Viego for the side of Mammoth did Krugs, resets, and is now at top Krugs. He's on the exact opposite side of the map. There's no helping his 2v2. And I said this through draft, Skimmy. I feel like if you're going to win this game as Mammoth, you probably want to play for your bot lane at least a little bit here. The Sivir is now just desperately behind, and Zilean does nothing to help this. It's like, there's a lot of things here. One of it is that I wished it was a Karma instead. Two is I don't understand what Mammoth's vision was, but one of them's cleared now.
Oh, great spell shield though from Voice, and that may just be enough to save them. A two-man bomb turns it around, and whilst it looks nice, I don't think it's going to achieve too much, because just look at the turret. It's just gone.
Exactly. What does it actually save them?
Well, still, they're going for this one. We're literally glued to bot lane. We're playing Dominion. Bring it back, because we're just fighting for the turret.
The fact that PGG continue to find kills down here.
We're not done.
What is happening?
We are just cycling through. They're just getting camped.
Refury's coming in. It's Mayfun and Refury's turn to have a crack. He's level 6 on the Tryndamere.
Yeah, Balcon's going to jump on through. Balcon might actually die in this exchange. In comes Yuri. He's got the Realm Warp. He's going to turn around, hit the binding, hit the flux, and look to try and lay down some damage. Can Predator do much in this situation? He cannot. The 2 kills that they needed are found in the places that you wanted, but at the expense of their bot lane falling so catastrophically far behind.
Yeah, I mean, that's really huge from the side of Refury and Mayfun. They finally get into the mix. Remember that Mayfun was literally on the opposite side of the map, so it was quite a trek for him. Yuri just going to try and harass him. He ticks level 6, and Mayfun could be hyper-aggressive here, and it was the phase rush that'll get Yuri out to safety. The main difference there is, like, first of all, Mammoth were being highly illegal gamers multiple times in a row, and were just being consistently punished. And you could complain that they were being camped, but your jungler is on the opposite side. He is not there to help you. Your mid laner didn't have move for a significant amount of time. There's no way they actually get to walk up to that turret, so they just die trying to be illegal and get away with it. So it's just a good punish from PGG. And eventually their luck had to run out, right? They just had one too many good engages in a row. They're out of mana, they're out of cooldowns, and they finally get preyed upon by this Tryndamere.
It's a huge start. You'd had to check in with the gold and just imagine how far ahead Praetor is now as a result. You look at the CS in isolation, you say, well, that's big enough, but the real answer comes on the fact that that turret's pretty much gone at the 6-minute mark, which is just unheard of.
Which, like, to be completely blunt, in my opinion anyway, this is not objective facts, Mayfun had to be bottom. That wave was so big and the trade was so poor from the bottom lane 2v2 that if Rocco and Voice aren't just desperately crying for help, they have to sit at their inner turret. There's no teleports to help them, so that's another alternative option, right? They've Tron with teleport versus Winter who doesn't have it. And you can teleport to your own turrets, but the teleport's on cooldown, so your options are literally just cry loudly until Mayfun walks bottom to help you or lose the game. And so they chose death.
Blue team has slain the dragon.
Thunderpalm might be choosing death as well. Is Balcon going to wait for this one? No, he is going to reveal himself and just insta-summon and guarantee that that is a second turret that is going to cop a very big beating. And those side lanes, top and bot, already on. The map is getting squeezed.
Raider's going to take the bot lane turret as well. So both side lane outers, 9 minutes in. This is pre-plates expiring, obviously, so they get the maximum amount of gold from this one. Mid lane outer turret is the last one left. No Herald to take for it. Winter tried ulting that blue buff just off screen. What you saw from it. Doesn't get it, he's just going to reset anyway. You can see Winter is laughing about it. We've also got the Hullbreaker skimmy. Cheapest item spike possible for a grade. He loves it.
Yeah. Just waiting for the moment we get it in the jungle.
Oh, I mean, we saw it once from a Rex side, didn't we?
We did, yeah, LCK. Showcasing what they can do.
I think it makes sense if you're a jungler that has isolated fights, right? Rek'Sai is one of those.
Sure.
Otherwise, probably not going to be seen, and most of the junglers in the LCO are picking their team fight jungle.
Maybe bring back Kha'Zix.
Yeah.
Who knows? Oh, I don't know, spring to mind. But Balkan is going to jump in for this occasion and be forced to flash away. The Crescent Guard was about to expire, and he copped a fair bit of beating before his team came to really answer back with some damage of their own. But no kills found, just Summoner's Burn.
Good little move there from both bottom lanes, honestly. Right place, right time, the fight happened. Voice, no mana here, however. So it's going to be a case of push and base. And this is a lot of time where PGG are pretty comfortably farming Rogue with a big flank.
Yeah, Yuri wants this. Oh, he's hit the
cancelled.
spin. He's just been headbutt. Where are you going? Well, you're going to try and bonk one head a few times, but this is not a theme park. It's not going to work out in your favor. And Yuri, really, he's just keeping him interested.
Refury is going to be a point to really have to be afraid of if you are Pentanet.gg. But it's like we mentioned before, right? You've got a triple AD topside. It's fairly weak, and it's very easy to itemize against. Camille does have true damage. I think Viego has a little bit himself as well, but that means that the Tryndamere being 2-0, you've got plated steel caps that can be purchased across the board. You've got a lot of easy AD, to, rather armor to itemize into. That makes things even harder, right? For your one win condition to actually get something done.
Yeah, you need Refury to find those isolated kills like he did in this matchup last time. Do a bit of monster hunting, if you will. Easier said than done, though, this time going into a Rise compared to a Corki. And Zuri, every single time he steps up to the wave, just locks him in place. I guess the question is going to be a case of when Refury feels comfortable to go for that all-in. When is the Undying Rage available to use? Well, it is there now. Perhaps just waiting for his Mythic item to be complete. Mustn't be too far away from it, though.
You know, I think if he had Ghost there, he takes that fight. A lot of the way that you're trading against the Rise is he wants to keep you at bay. He'll proc his phase rush doing a full damage combo, and then you start to look for the spin forwards onto him. Rogue spotted on vision. I don't think he saw that ward placed because he was sitting in the brush just below it. So they'll know if there's a Hex flash. There's no need for that. There's a real flash ready and dives on.
Looking for creative. He's just going to sidestep all that attention. Throw goes in. Indomitable Will. He's untouchable. Mayfan receives a chrono ship, but he ults away, so it doesn't actually get procced until Yuri hits him with a high five. Sent down, revives, but dead again. Double kill here for Winter's Graves.
They've just got the numbers, right? Maximum 3 people are going to be there from the side of Mammoth to try and stop the dive from happening. And the control on the map that belongs to PGG, not just looking at Belkan, you're looking at 4 wards in the red side jungle. They just have too much pressure. Refury can't get there, it's not safe. And then the Camille's not going to be able to get there either. The complete amount of control means that Mayfan even looking for a gank here is definitely on some red nose business, right? Like, that's not going to happen. They're more than ready to play against it. And I think that was a desperate attempt to try and get a fight done before PGG collapsed. But when all said and done, they were collapsing at that exact moment. And they also saw the Alistar with a ward, so goes from bad to worse, but I can't think of something skimmy that makes that better for them because of how desperately they're positioned.
Not a fight they'll be happy with, to say the least. As second dragon it has now just spawned. First was picked up by Mammoth. That's an Earth Drake to their name. Bit of mountain shenanigans, if you will. But the second Drake is an ocean, and that will be achieved here by PGG. So, a successful skirmish. That's them a positive overall. Still retaining a healthy 5k gold lead, fast approaching that 15-minute mark.
And again, only really 1 turret left standing. The second Herald is probably the place to be for Mammoth if they wanted to fight. They have 4 mythics completed now with that Gale Force done for Voice. They aren't desperately far behind in current items if you actually, you know, have a tab check, even though it's 5k down. The question is, can they make that fight happen? And so far, it's looking like a no. Refury is bot lane. Doesn't have teleport. So I think it's just going to be the Herald gone, which means that mid lane outer turret just dies no matter what here.
He's turned the switch though, he's hit the ghost. There's the flash to respect it. He's going to go underneath this turret. He's going to get blinded for a second, but there is the Undying Rage. He's trying to hit the realm up. There's no sun. There's no CC. So he can't cancel it. The Refury survives in the process as well. Mayfan going to cop a beating again as the Moonlight Vigil goes across. Does a kill confirmed before Mayfan sidesteps what could have been the biggest spear that Barkhan's ever thrown in this game, and Rogue just jumps in like a drive-by as a cow says, how's that going? It's K-Barbecue, and it tastes so good.
I mean, it's just so good from PGG in general. Balkan's a monster. The fact that Rogue survives, I didn't pay attention to it until the very end, but he used exhaust on the disengage. Tron was really close to dying. It would have been a Gravitum auto attack there as well with the blue activation, and the mid lane inner turret goes as well, not just the outer. This game is ready to explode. It's already really tough. This game is ready to become another impossible one, Skimmy, very early on.
It was just that one moment in bot lane, right? So close to the Tryndamere fighting that kill. But the Realm Warp was just enough. Perhaps if there was a trade with a turret kill confirmed, Yuri would be laughing straight to the bank with that one.
Mayfan gets comboed to kick this off, and it's really nice actually from Praetor on the follow-up, prioritizing voice there and gets the spell shield gone from him, so very easy to flash forwards. Balkan seeing montages in his mind, tries to hit the wind becomes lightning. Doesn't quite get it, but he's able to get in there to save Rogue. But the last second has that exhaust ready to use. And again, they just have numbers. And meanwhile, like you mentioned, you've got Yuri doing speed circles down at the bottom turret to survive.
Oh no, he has to be careful here. He burned everything in that previous exchange, only has TP left. Tryndamere walks up to the wave and hits the ult button and says, where are you going this time? I've got an army.
So much better though. That's what they need to do. If you have enough information to see where PGG are, you should be able to try, at least try to play other sides of the map. Unfortunately for them, up until this point, there's just been a lot of handshake losing. On the bomb, I'm going to try and push Winter back, but remember Balkan's right there.
Certainly is, and he would not be afraid to try and take this exchange. 5th turret picked up. And Balkan wastes no time to walk into that one, hits the Crescent Guard, but can't be touched by this Zillion. A stun on top of his head, sending the Camille to the afterlife, gets revived. And now the Hextech Ultimatum finds himself in a Spidey situation, forced to try and run away, wait for the rest of his team to come up through. As Rogue postures aggressively, threatening with his combo once again. Yuri, meanwhile, was still pushing in the mid lane. It's a 4-1 split, and they're going to open up that mid inhibitor as easily as you like. Rusty, it's only 18 minutes into this game, and PGG are knocking on the front door.
And they've got 30 seconds to end the game, Skibby. Well, the record won't be beaten. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to, of course, this time around, but it is going to be turrets broken and a Drake to fall back to in 50 seconds. So you've got your free resets, you've already got a couple of wards ready, red buff to steal. Easy as you like. I think we'll be seeing PGG continue forwards towards the enemy nexus. Mammoth on Struggle Street without a shadow of a doubt. We're having a day of it, Skimmy. It feels real bad. I have said this before, but as a commentator, you want to try and give the silver linings to your opponents, right? Like, you really want to give them the out. And it's, I think, one of the most common questions that a play-by-play will ask a color caster is, what can Mammoth do to win this game? But we're getting a lot of shutouts today. And accepting reality is sometimes something that we'll have to do.
Yeah.
I think the reality is this is very doomed for Mammoth unless something big happens that booms PGG.
I mean, you already touched on the itemization, right? 4-plated steel caps, that alone is just enough to make you cry as the Mammoth roster. Then you add in a Death Stars as the second item complete here for the Xin Zhao. Frozen Heart not too far away being complete on the rise as well. I mean, they're just immune to damage at that point. Yeah, you're really all in on this Aphelios and you're hoping that you can try and punish it.
Yeah, like actually though, the thing is like, just trying to think about how I would fix the draft if I was Mammoth in this situation, because for me that's the biggest issue, right? It's just so easy to itemize against them. It's probably a Rumble or a Cannon top, right? Instead of the Camille. Like, I think you saw the early Graves shown, right? So I don't know how those matchups go specifically, but I think an AP top champion makes things a lot easier, and then the Viego could be an Olaf. That's the other champion that could rely on it. Like, if you're going to pick a Zillion Sivir bot lane, as if that isn't an Olaf. Couldn't think of it during draft. I think that's the two things that I've...
Yeah, hindsight being a beautiful thing. Not going to work in their favor this time, however, as 20 minutes has now finally dawned upon us in this game. That means the Baron is spawned, and that means another team with a huge snowballed lead. And no doubt look to start things off welcome Mammoth into the area and say, it's time to fight, or we may just end this game. Rocco's going to meet that same fate. Ult himself, a fight breaks out in the mid lane also at the same time. For 2 separate occasions, Prater putting in so much work before he does die, enough to make sure that 2 kills are found. It's a double for the Rise. Yuri acknowledging the impact that Aphelios had. That really was the only opportunity Mammoth had, but still just not enough.
Rise Ultimate's going to bring in Rogue with Yuri. No minions to be seen, but they still have enough people alive. And a wave with a cannon here to push mid. The choice is theirs if they want to try and push to end. I don't know how possible that is with the 3 minions. We'll see. Fury has ult.
He's just been knocked into Narnia. He's got the ultimate. He's looking for that reset. He's flashing forward. He's flashing to try and kill an Alistair. But he's going to be denied by that. Oh, that feels horrendous. Now his teammates are going to respawn. He's down to 35 seconds. It's a 4v3. PGG are saying maybe it's not worth it anymore. We don't have a wave.
No, I still think this was just a 2 inhibitor and reset angle from Pentanet.gg, but nevertheless, they had a crack. You got to respect it. They got some more money from Fury and Rocco have to throw themselves at them to keep the game alive, right? But team respawns here. And either way, PGG still have the Baron to return to. The world really is their oyster. They can do what they please.
Yeah. It feels like they're saying, I'm pretty sure that you've mentioned a few times in your past when we've worked together about, you know, Mammoth throwing pretty much everything, including the kitchen sink at that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you got to do to keep the Nexus alive, right? Find your nearest kitchen sink and just yeet it at PGG.
Just yeet it. Love that one. Here we go, though. Baron has now finally been picked up here by PGG. 22 minutes on the dot. They only found that 1 minute here, but they're certainly going to work their way towards this top side of the map, which is open, is exposed, and is soon to be taken down as well. A 4-1 split takes place once again. Why wouldn't it? And Rogue then jumps in. It's a flash 2-man Polv. And then Yumi's going to find that isolated, empowered stun. There it is on towards Voice, who manages to walk away, catching me off guard there for a second, but no doubt, Fury then jumps in, Tron the Pomp on the flank, looking for the isolated target. Who can he find? He's jumping onto the key carry of Aphelios, who just rips him apart with a triple kill. Prater and Aphelios, a champion, a matchup in the stars, but still no pentakill. Not going to be a worry for him, though, because they are going to find that dub. They are going to find that victory. They are going to claim revenge. And revenge is found with a sweet ace to end it all.
And an easy victory in the end from Pentanet.gg. That's 2 back-to-back 23-minute dubs as well, I think, here in the LCO. And a big Alistar performance from the big man himself, as I'm no doubt Marky's about to go and wash his hands after that game. 4 times in an hour, why not?
He said it was going to be clean.
It was clean.
I don't think he was lying.
No, he definitely wasn't lying. It was also just clean across the board. That's the thing. It wasn't just the bot lane, but they still won their skirmishes. And
yeah,
again, it's just an easy dub for them overall.
And it's so hard to overlook that, Mac, right? When you look at that bot lane, just the way it started out, that initial 2v2, into the fact that the wave is in such a bad position that Wildcard is just going to punish you. If there's ever a jungler in this entire region that will punish you, it had to be him.
I got motivated to keep it clean, just like Pentanet there, of course. Making sure I could see everything. But look, I felt so bad for Mammoth. It looked like they were getting bullied in the bot lane. But from the start, Rusty was saying it, the jungler wasn't quite right in the correct position. Look, you had Fury rotating to try to get them back into the game. But then, even just from this sort of mid-game area, look, you've lost your top and bot tier 1 so bloody early, and Pentanet knew where to be, how to punish, and exactly what they needed to do just to get this dub over the line, showing that they are looking like a whole different team already, just 1 round deeper since both these teams last met. And look, you heard it from Prater a couple of weeks ago now, where he said, yeah, it's all over. The season's all over. There's no 2 more rounds to get us back into the top 5, And they're not phased. They're not phased. So, look, keeping it clean. Rogue happy as Larry with his cool little lights that he had in the background. And Mammoth, they had some moments of brilliance, but at the same time, it just wasn't the dub that, look, at least I was hoping for. Everyone else probably pretty happy with Pentanet's performance here. And yeah, right at the end, little ace to close. I wouldn't say it's even BM, just trying to take a fight, give Mammoth a chance, so to speak. But by that time, you're looking at the gold Diffie. It is a big old 12k Diffie, and Rogue, look at that. He's doing something. He doesn't have Winter to celebrate with anymore, so he had to come up with something, right, Skimmy?
Oh, he certainly does, right? And I mean, that's an interesting call, actually, because it looked like how their gaming house set up initially, right? They're actually all going over to the same space. Maybe a conscious decision now. You know, let's all spread apart, you know, himself and Praetor staying together. Maybe just a better environment for them to work as a collective, because that game was as clean as it comes.
I have some information from the stats man as well, and he's told us that Praetor was 20 CS up on Voice at 8 minutes. So unfortunately, you know, the little rivalry we had going with that pre-game video, it did not result as Voice may have expected, Rusty.
I mean, could that not be the 78 back-to-back-to-back dives on bot lane, stopping him from getting to the minion wave? That's certainly a factor here, so I guess...
Did he not ask for it?
AD diff is team diff, is all I'm saying.
Okay, well, that seems to be the case today. Team damage dealt. Look, Free Fury still had a pretty okay game, but just look at the difference. 23 minutes, you're looking at so many more items over on the right side of your screens here. And it seems like it just is a day for Graves. He seems to be getting a whole lot of playtime, Skin.
For sure, yeah, what a stable pick, right? I mean, it's just a champion that first of all can bully you because it's ranged. Secondly, it just has incredible sustain. I mean, even in this situation, you see him pick Gordrink. We've actually seen us pick a handful of times. You know, the general consensus is you go for the shield bow if you need to survive, you go for the Eclipse if you want to be a bit of a carry, a bit of a tank shredder. But in this occasion, you know, you've got a lot of melee diving champions, so the Gordrink probably finds a lot more value than the shield bow.
Yeah.
Hullbreaker obviously absolutely broken, so no surprises there, but a champion where top laners get to have a little bit more fun. You'd have to imagine.
Well, I heard Kitty had a lot of fun watching that game because the prediction went well again, so let's bring her back in. You look pretty happy with the result.
I got flashbacks from those dives from Balkan from my solo queue games, but someone who definitely enjoyed that game was Rogue, so let's bring him back for the interview. Hello, Rogue. What does revenge taste like?
It's good. I don't know what was happening in that game. Like, that whole thing, I don't know what the hell happened in draft. I don't think I played Alistar in a month, but then they just picked Sivir. But then I forgot to ban Sylar, so then I had to pick 5. Like, I don't know, man.
It worked out in the end, so it's fine. But yeah, it was good. So after that hard winning 2v2 in the bot lane during the early game, you guys had Balkan dive bot lane 4 times. What kind of message does this send to your future competitors?
You blind pick Sivir, you get Dove, Zillion Sivir. It's not good. Don't do it. I think I get it though. I think I get it because like they know like the Tryndamere thing, right? And they were like, all right, make him go fast, and then Yuri will die like 1,000,000 times. And I got a bit scared because I thought he was gonna die bot, but then he didn't. So I get where the comp's going. Like they make the Tryndamere fast. It's like a real fast PTSD for us. Like, didn't work.
Very innovative coming out of Mammoth, but they did draft full AD with the support being the solo AP, I believe. But you know, it happens during draft. Let's talk about your build. So we actually saw a really unique Alistar build. You followed the Swifty boots with a Dead Man's Plate. You want to explain to us why you decided to go with this build?
Yeah, well, Alistar doesn't really do great with the Ninja Tubbies. Like, you can if there's ever time to do it, it's that game. But that's like a game where I can engage so easy. Like, I'm in range of anyone whenever I want. So if I just have Swifties to negate like Zillion slow and things, and I'm just on them. Other than that, I just spam armor. I was actually gonna go Frozen Heart's second item. It was probably a bit troll. I don't know if I should do that. Like, I was originally gonna go like Mythic into Frozen Heart, because Frozen Heart is just cracked. But you can't play Alistar without building any health. So I was like, all right, I'll run fast, and then I'll get the Frozen Heart. Mythics are overrated, guys. You don't need them.
You heard it from Rogue, guys. Mythic is indeed overrated. Well, congrats on the revenge with Mammoth, and hopefully you get a good night's rest for tomorrow's game.
Sure will, thank you.
Look, Mythic's overrated, it's very true. I'm just waiting for the day we see all 5 players building a Hullbreaker, and it should happen at some point.
Oh no!
It's value for money, you know. It's just a great item, right, Rusty?
Yeah, I mean, the one place I'd draw the line is probably AD and support, Mac, because they are stuck together.
What about roaming support?
I mean, then your AD can get it.
Yep.
Sure.
Support doesn't really need the 50 AD, I don't think, and the 400 health is nice, but the 50 AD is a bit much.
Look, we're working out all the kinks here live on broadcast, but that man on your screen is also the player of the game because he was setting up so much action, 13 assists, and so damn selfless without any kills stolen at all. Only dying one time and 72% KP is pretty damn good. 21 wards placed, but it was also a very short game, so that's still a pretty damn good statistic, isn't it, Skimmy?
It is, yeah. I mean, it's a classic pick once again, really for Rogue, but it's the impact it was, providing in that game. Multiple pulverizers onto multiple members that made it very hard for an Eddie comp that had to group together. It made it very hard for him to play the game. You saw probably no better proof than when the Tryndamere jumps and he headbutts him away. What do you do at that stage? I mean, you're maybe idolizing the idea of a Tryndamere receiving a zillion speed up, but it just wasn't the case. And at the end, he was that tanky that Tryndamere couldn't even kill him, even when he flashed through it. So it was a pick which, punished the draft accordingly.
I really wanted to say he's not a man of many words coming out of that interview because there was the answer he gave where he was like, look, that's just not good. And I thought that was going to be the end of it, but he did elaborate slowly, so he's a man of some words. And enough words is probably a better way to put it. Getting this point across just when it's needed. But look, that is that for game number 3 of the day. But we also have a From the Fan submission. You guys at home coming in damn clutch. So at LCO, hashtag LCO, and tell us your favorite League of Legends memories. And we've got Kawaii DE. All right, do you know this person?
No, I know the jersey.
Okay. Donor photos from the event, but the first League of Origin was one of the coolest events I've been to. Also meeting a bunch of OPL players and casters at PAX 2015 was cool. So this is before my time, and I never got to be part of a League of Origin, which I'm sad about because I'm a big fan of State of Origin. I reckon I would have 100% got behind it, Rusty.
Yeah, this was sick. So for anyone who doesn't know as well, League of Origin is literally State of Origin, but for League of Legends, we had four places, however, Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, and New Zealand.
Okay.
I was the general manager of the Queensland squad, which at the time, could I just say, I think it was 2016, I didn't have a player from Queensland that wasn't Tally. I think I had Babip in his first year, so we didn't win a game, but it was a lot of fun. I love this event. It was cool to have a live stadium setting for a fun tournament. It was a lot of fun.
Again, I love that Rusty's memories keep getting rekindled, so...
Yeah, please keep these coming. Please submit more. I want to go down memory lane.
So how about, don't just submit your best memories of League, submit more of Rusty's best memories of League. How about we change it to that? Let's see, we'll probably get 70 submissions after the next game. Now, speaking of the next game, we've got to get there. But before we do, exclamation mail in chat. If you guys want to sign up and never miss a competition, never miss a giveaway, you want to be dropping exclamation mail in chat. Give us your email address and we'll send you some sick emails on how to never miss the giveaways or the competitions or just general great information about LCO. Game times, who's playing. Speaking of who's playing, we have to get through another break before we get into the final game of the day. It's day 1 of the Super Week, but it's Gravitas and Chiefs to close us out here. So, of course, we've got to get through this one, and we'll see you just after this for the final game of the day.
No need for that. There's a real flash ready and dives on.
Creative, he's going to sidestep all that attention. Throw goes in. Indomitable Will, he's untouchable. Mayfine receives the chrono, should be ults away, so doesn't actually get procs until Yuri hits him with a high five. Sent down, revives, but dead again. Double